I'm not so sure I'd want to sleep in this room on my own.
It looked like something was stood by you then, on your, what would be your left.
I just heard a voice.
Are you in there?
That's gone cold. It's gone real cold here now.
Just wanted to point out that if it was me that was moving, then that 360 monitor would have gone off.
We've seen you, but could you make a noise for us so we know where you are in the room? Could you touch one of our devices we've got in here, please?
Mark, something just went in front of you.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Walk towards the door. What's that?
Yes, sir. Yes. If I'm poison, manufacture record. Yes, sir. Go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go. It's like a light is in my face, but I can't fall for you. I close my eyes and drift away. I've overdosed on you. Cause then you wake up dead one day.
Baskerville Hall Hotel. The legendary house, Baskerville Hall, was built in 1839 by Thomas Miners Baskerville for his beloved wife, Elizabeth. When the house was originally owned by the Baskervilles between 1839 and 1845, it was known as Cliro Court, and it was renamed in 1987. The family were related to the Dukes of Normandy and first came to Britain to help William the Conqueror in 1066. Thomas Baskerville inherited the Baskerville estate from his third cousin, Colonel Thomas Baskerville, who died in 1818, who had no children. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a family friend who often came to stay here, and during his many visits learned of a story, the Hounds of Blackvaughan, on nearby Hergest Ridge. The hounds were owned by the Vaughan family, who ran a nearby estate. They did not like passers-by through on their land, and these dogs were set upon walkers, where some of whom had died trying to run away. In 1901, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle penned the classic tale of supernatural horror, The Hound of the Baskervilles. In the story was the world's greatest detective, Sherlock Holmes, who must save the last of the Baskerville line from a vicious hellhound. Conan Doyle was fascinated with life after death and was often involved in seances to contact the spirit world. Conan Doyle was born in 1859 to a strict Irish Catholic family, and at the time of his death on the 7th of July 1930, he had long been established as the world's best known and most outspoken proponent of spiritualism, the belief that the dead are able to communicate with the living. In 1946, the house was used as a boarding school, where the rooms on the first floor became classrooms until 1972. Then it was sold to a Mr. Thomas Knott, who converted the house into a hotel health farm. The health farm only lasted a few years until it then lay derelict, until in 1984, when the present owner, David Hodby, purchased the property and restored the house. Today, Baskerville Hall is a hotel, and although there may not be any murderous hellhounds stalking the grounds, the dogs that were once part of the Baskervilles are buried behind the house. Visitors and guests at the hotel have reported apparitions of a white lady. Although she has been seen within the hotel, the Rose Garden is where she has been witnessed on many occasions. This spirit is said to be Elizabeth Baskerville, as she spent a great deal of her time in the garden. The Rose Garden is now no longer there. It has been replaced by a small hall. Another spirit who wanders the house has been named the Unknown Man. He has been seen walking up and down the stairs and will often stare at people with cold, lifeless eyes. He has also been seen in many of the guest rooms and vanishes when he is challenged. Many guests report knockings and bangings throughout the night. Footsteps are heard following visitors around the hotel, and it only seems to stop when they either enter their rooms or leave through the front door. One night, a vicar was staying in room 7, and in the early hours he went down to the reception desk asking to be moved to another room, as there was a woman standing at the bottom of his bed watching him. On the 23rd of November 2020, Mr. and Mrs. Stokes were staying in room 8, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, Mrs. Stokes was woken by someone moving and walking around the room. At first, she thought it was her husband going to the bathroom, but was shocked to find him still asleep next to her in bed. Mrs. Stokes' teenage son was also staying in room 2, and in the early hours the taps in the bathroom turned on all by themselves. The owner, David Hodby, will not speak of what he has experienced in the hotel, but has stated that he keeps himself to himself and lets the others do what they need to do. David shows us a photo which he took several years ago of an apparition of a woman standing to the right of the staircase. This is the first time an investigation has been carried out at this location. We have our static cams in place. Static cam 1 is facing the ground floor staircase. Static cam 2 is on the ground floor facing the upper floors. Static cam 3 is in what was once the rose garden. Static cam 4 is in the lounge which was once the music room. Static cam 5 is in the dining area. Static cam 6 is on the upper floor walkway. We start our investigation in room 2, where the bathroom taps turn on by themselves.
Is there anybody in this room with us at the moment? Can you maybe turn the taps on for us or do something to let us know you're here? Could you maybe tell us whose room this was out of the Baskerville family? Or should I say, is there anyone from the Baskerville family here with us now that would like to speak to us? If so, could you tell me your name, please? This is a beautiful house and it's in really, really good condition. Are you happy with the way the owner has renovated it and got it back up running? Could hear a pin drop.
So quiet, isn't it?
Could you touch one of our devices we've got in here, please?
Mark, something just went in front of you.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
That's gone cold. It's gone real cold here now.
Something.
I don't think it was in front of you. It was
to his left. To Mark's right.
I saw it go up and
my
across
hair's
the bed here.
My hair's standing on end bad.
I just saw it was like a flicker of a shadow that went past.
Here. It's there, Phil.
Where?
Here, something come up off the floor and went up and across the bed. But I don't know if it was going over towards Mark or not. It was really quick.
Yeah, it was very, very quick because I just saw it was literally like a shadow went across part of Mark.
Phil and I see a shadow move at great speed from left to right, which was moving towards the bed. Here is the footage enhanced, followed by the footage enhanced and in slow motion.
It looked like something was stood by you then on your, what would be your left. There's a dresser there and it blacked, I can see the white dresser. Did you just stand by my friend over there by the window? If so, could you do it again? We've seen you, but could you make a noise for us so we know where you are in the room?
Just heard a voice.
I did as well.
Come from my Phil. Come from my left-hand side.
Yeah.
I heard it from over there by that. Yeah.
In that corner behind you. We all hear a disembodied voice of a child that says, energy. Here is the enhanced audio taken from Mark's digital recorder.
We've seen you, but could you make a noise for us so we know where you are in the room?
Just heard a voice.
I did as well. We've seen you, but could you make a noise for us so we know where you are in the room?
Just heard a voice.
I did as well.
Come from my Phil. Come from my left-hand side.
Yeah.
I heard it from over there by that. Yeah.
In that corner behind you. We now head over to room 7. This is where a vicar who woke in the night saw a lady standing at the bottom of his bed watching him. We are in room 7. And the story is that I believe it was back in the 90s, the 1990s, there was a vicar staying in this room. And in the middle of the night he went downstairs to reception and spoke to David, the owner, and he asked if he could be moved from this room straight away, as there is a woman standing over the bed looking at him, and he wouldn't come back in here. So can I ask, if you are listening, the woman that was standing over the bed, can you tell me your name, please? Did you work here? What's knocking?
I don't know.
As I was saying, did you work here? Were you a maid? Were you someone that used to look after the rooms? Or maybe you were a member of the Baskerville family and this was your room. I just heard a voice.
I heard something, I don't know where it was from, it sounded like it came from your direction.
Right in front of me. Again, we all hear a disembodied voice which sounds like a child or a woman. The voice is saying, "Help me," or "I am here." Here is the audio enhanced. I just heard a voice.
I heard something, I don't know where it was from, it sounded like it came from your direction.
Right in front of me. Maybe this was your room and you came over and saw that gentleman in your bed and you was wondering why he was in your bed.
Who was that?
Movement is heard as if something is being dragged from the room next to us. Here is the audio taken from my digital recorder.
Who was that? Who was that?
All fell quiet in room 7, so we made our way to room 8. This is where walking and movement has been heard.
Well, we've wandered into room 8, which has this large 4-poster bed in. It's quite a strange room, this one, because you've got the main area. You have a bathroom through there, but there is also a curtain here. If I can see, behind this curtain there's a net with another double bed inside. Obviously a family room. I'm not so sure I'd want to sleep in this room on my own, but it's a bit disconcerting having another room behind a curtain. It's, I suppose, just psychological. Anyway, the reason why we've come into room 8 is because there is a report of a couple that stayed here, and in the middle of the night the woman heard footsteps walking across the room. Now you can hear it's wooden floors and there's a bit of rattling and stuff, so they were quite prominent, and she thought her husband had got up in the middle of the night and gone to the toilet or whatever. But she turned round in bed and he was fast asleep next to her, and apparently it really freaked her out, as I suppose it would. Obviously this room forms part of a very old building. Lots of people would have stayed here, obviously, since it's been a hotel, but prior to that, I'd imagine this would be somebody's bedroom. Whether the little bit through there was part of it, whether it was a dressing room, or whether it's just been knocked through, I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to ask if there are any spirits within this room, if you'll be willing to talk to me. Try and shout your name as loud as you can into this little thing I'm holding here with the red light on. Shout it now. I mentioned about this room behind me. Was that a separate room that's been opened up? Are you in there? It'd be quite a strange place to sleep. As I say, I wouldn't want to sleep in here on my own with nobody else sort of around, because it's a bit enclosed for me. Maybe with lights on it would feel different. It's so very peaceful. I'm sure you could make some form of noise to let us know you're here.
At this point, as we are all in room 8, something is checking out our static cam 2 on the ground floor as the camera on the tripod that's covering the upper floors begins to move.
Do you see the guests here? The people that come and stay? We're going to be moving on from this room shortly. As I say, there was a report that you've been heard in this room. It would be nice to confirm that story. Walk towards the door. What's that?
Another voice is heard, and it is yet again a child's voice who is telling Phil to go away. Here is the enhanced audio.
Walk towards the door. What's that? Walk towards the door. What's that?
On the ground floor, in the dining area, the sound of a door slamming is captured on our static cam 5. We finish our sessions on the upper floor rooms and go down to the ground floor lounge music room. We have placed a music box and a 360 detector. Both will activate if any movement is detected. We are here on the ground floor in this great big lounge area, and just over behind us we've got a music box that will pick up on any motion, which is covering that area over there. And then just behind us here we've got a 360 monitor, which will go into alarm if it picks up any movement. The room that's just over there in the corner, they call it the corner room, and apparently that is where Sir Arthur Conan Doyle started to write the book Hound of the Baskervilles, as he knew the Baskerville family so well. So that was where he wrote the book, which is just over there. And that would have been back in 1901. But I do believe from 1901 to 1902, it was serialised in, I think it was called Strand magazine. So the actual novel didn't come out until after that, which would have been 1902 onwards. So I just wondered actually that as Conan Doyle was a great friend to the Baskervilles, I just wondered maybe if he is here. So Sir Arthur, if you can hear my voice, can you do something to let me know that you're here, please? Now, I believe that you got the idea of your story because of a family that wasn't too far away in a place called Courtfields. It was another mansion.
That's probably your arm, Jeff.
Do it again.
Or maybe not.
No.
It can't pick me up from here because
You got the jigsaws or whatever behind you.
we're blanked out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not picking you up when you're standing up either, so.
So, just wanted to point out that if it was me that was moving, then that 360 monitor would have gone off behind me now because I've just stood up. So I'm not going to go over there. I'm just going to sit back down again. So thank you for that. So hopefully I am speaking to you, Arthur. At first, we think it was me that activated the 360 alarm, but it is behind where we are sitting, situated here. And then an EVP is captured on my digital recorder, which we cannot decipher. Here is the enhanced audio. So thank you for that. So hopefully I am speaking to you, Arthur. So thank you for that. So hopefully I am speaking to you, Arthur. We leave the lounge music room and place the 360 detector on the table. 12 minutes after, the 360 goes into alarm as it detects movement.